Hey my little panda cubs, so let me get straight to the point. You are the expert on your gender identity. Only you know how you feel inside, and only you can get to decide how you express your gender. There is no wrong way to be trans, and there is no right way to be trans. I've seen a lot of gatekeeping posts like, oh, if you don't want SRS, you're not really trans, or if you don't suffer gender dysphoria, you're not really trans. These kind of opinions are frankly wrong.
It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened. It never happened.
Just because somebody doesn't suffer gender dysphoria doesn't mean they don't experience gender euphoria. If being a different gender and expressing yourself as that gender that you feel, if that makes you happier than you was as the gender you were born as, then you're trans, regardless of if you suffer dysphoria or not. As for SRS, actually only a minority of trans people actually get SRS. I hear this one from trans meds mostly, oh, you have to have SRS or you're not really trans. For some trans people, passing as 100% cis, including genitals, that's a goal for them.
Hey, watch this.
Really?
Michelle? Dude, you so owe us a blue light.
And that's okay, that's valid. These people are valid. I'm one of them. Okay, I want SRS. I want to go all the way. I want to be passing. If I ever get the money, I'm going to have facial feminization surgery and the such likes. And I do experience dysphoria. So any trans med watching this who wants to accuse me of being you're wrong. Though you're wrong about most things, so that shouldn't surprise you.
You are fake news.
Dysphoria is not universal. It's not global. Say your body is your world. Dysphoria isn't necessarily encompassing your entire world, right? Maybe it's only encompassing certain continents. So some trans people can have dysphoria about their facial hair, right? Dysphoria about their jawline, dysphoria about their hips, but not necessarily dysphoria about their genitals, right? Just because they have top dysphoria doesn't mean they have bottom dysphoria. And that's valid too. You don't have to have SRS or desire SRS to be trans. And there's some trans people out there who don't even desire HRT. And that's okay too. You people are also valid. That's another comment I hear. If you don't desire hormones, if you don't desire a medical transition, then you're not really trans. Again, wrong. There's some trans people who, like I said, maybe they don't suffer dysphoria about any of their body, that they have no dysphoria in their world, but they have dysphoria inside their world at the core, right? The world has a core, so maybe the core of their world is where they suffer the dysphoria, the parts you can't see inside your heart, your brain, your mind. So maybe for those people, socially transitioning and expressing their gender through cultural norms is enough for them, and that's okay too. And there's non-binary people who don't feel like either gender, but they're still trans because they identify as something different to what they were assigned as at birth.
Incapable of understanding, there is a realm of existence so far beyond your own, you cannot even imagine it. I am beyond your comprehension.
they're still trans, they still feel a disconnect from what it says on their birth certificate to how they feel inside, right? We need to stop this gatekeeping of, oh, you have to feel X and experience Y to be a real trans person. This is harmful, not just to those people, but to all of us, because all it does is give medical establishment and politicians an excuse to gatekeep us. Oh, look, they're gatekeeping themselves, so we have permission to gatekeep them. And thing is, the gatekeeping they bring down on us won't just stop at the people you think aren't real trans people. What if the medical establishment and the politicians decide that you, a trans med, a gatekeeper? What if they decide you aren't a real trans person? What are you going to do then? Are you going to use, oh, I am a real trans person because I suffer dysphoria? Oh yeah? Then what if the medical establishment and the politicians say dysphoria isn't real? You're lying. How are you going to prove your dysphoria is real? Well, it's my personal experience though, I feel it. Sound familiar?
None shall pass. What? None shall pass.
Because that's exactly what people who don't fit into your pigeonholes feel and say. And listen, just because you're transitioning to one gender to the other doesn't mean like you have to act like a stereotype of that other gender. I've seen posts from people saying things like, oh, I don't think I'm a real trans person because I'm not very feminine, right? I don't like girly girl things. Who says you have to? You know, tomboys exist, right? Unfeminine cis women exist. So you can both want to be a woman, but not want to be feminine. You are valid. You are a real trans person. You just want to be like the cis women who aren't very feminine or girly. That's okay. Gender is more than strict stereotypes. And the thing is, stereotypes and cultural norms and the concept of, the established genders anyway varies from culture to culture, and varies in even our period of history. It was only a couple hundred years ago where skirts were men's clothing. Men used to be the ones that wear skirts. But now if a man wears a skirt, is considered a cross-dresser. Or if you're trans, maybe you feel, oh, I'm not a real trans person because I'm not really into skirts. I want to carry on wearing jeans. Go outside and look around. What are most cis women wearing on an average casual day? Most cis women just walk around in jeans. Don't listen to the gatekeepers, babies, and don't let anybody try to persuade you that you're wrong for feeling your gender identity, or you're wrong for expressing your gender identity in the way that you want to. There is no right or wrong way to be trans. If you're identifying as something different to what you was born as, and identifying as that thing, whether you medically transition or not, whether you adopt that gender's current cultural norms or not, you're valid and you are being trans the right way. Because you're being it your way. We are not a monolith. Every one of us is an individual, and that's a beautiful thing. As long as you're happy, and as long as your life is enhanced by the way you identify as a gender, or expressing your gender, or transitioning as your gender, as long as you're happy, that's all your big sis panda cares about. You do you, boo. Zippity.